So there's all this thing we need to unlearn. Unfortunately, only a new generation is going to bring this fresh air of this new Haiti. It has to be, because there's just too much to undo. The damage has been so much. But the people who think they can put a nice bed of roses on top of the garbage without cleaning the garbage, those people, they're gonna find out what's gonna happen. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. The lawyers are not going to accept it. This is not what they want, and they've shown you clearly this is not what they want, because the world is not going in that direction neither. Okay, so we're not gonna keep Haiti in this hole where it cannot emancipate itself and emerge. Haiti is going to emerge, and it's actually, that's what's going to, Haiti is going to be the center of knowledge for the rest of the world. So we've done away with these little Christian egregore and this Freemason and all that. We're done with that. We have our own science, and the next generation of Haitians, they're going to develop it, they're going to understand it, they're gonna be it. And you can call them Job, you can call them demons, you can call them Satan. That's not gonna do anything to them. You know why? Because they're gonna know who they are. They're gonna, just like you saw Iran saying, yeah, we have the nuclear weapon. Yes, we want to have it. That's how Haitians are gonna be. That's how the next generations of Haitians gonna be. They're gonna be there. We have it. We should have it. We should have more. Oh yeah, actually we're working on something else right now. That's how they're gonna be. Nobody's gonna be able to manipulate them, bully them. We know the Americans are good at bullying people, assassinating people, killing people. Only they can have something. That era is done. The Christian doctrine is done. It's done. It's finished. Only Haitians want to have the leftovers of something. Christianity is done. It's finished. No one wants it. Even the people who invented it realize that. They're onto something else. And we're still holding the plate. There's nothing in it. It was never nothing anyway. You just didn't know who you were. That's what made it something, not knowing who you are. We're done. We're really done. The Lord said they done. They done. And the way I see it, teaching the next generation of Haitians, starting from 5 years old, it's going to be a piece of cake, literally. Because by the time they are 10 years old, they're going to understand so much. Mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology. These are the things they're going to understand and know. By 10 years old, they should be able to make nuclear bombs. That's what we're gonna have. Little geniuses walking around, all of them. It's not gonna be like a specialty if you have a genius, no. Because if you teach a black child right, he's already a genius. He just didn't get the education to support that, but he already comes as a genius. Botany, that's right. Study of plants, that's right. Exactly. And what people don't understand is that they think plants are the same everywhere. Plants are not the same everywhere in the planet. That's why you need to understand science. That's why you need to understand chemistry. That's why you need to understand biology. It's not the same. Is the planet, is the northern hemisphere is the same with the southern hemisphere? No. Do they have the same amount of sunlight? No. That should tell you something. There are some places not much grows. Only Christmas trees grow there. They don't have many fruits. They don't have many diversity of plants. So our plants in Haiti, what we didn't know, our plants in Haiti, when we were sick, some sickness we never had because we ate our medicine. We ate our medicine. It's now that we have cancer in Haiti, and I mean, not only we have cancer, but we have it in large numbers, you know, big percentage. So you hear all the time people dying of cancer. We didn't have that before because we have these plants. and the concentration of sunlight is different. The energy that makes the energy of that plant different, and that's what's healed. And now, of course, we're talking about, healing people without dissecting them, without even opening them. Frequency healing. Haven't our Loas been doing frequency healing? Haven't the Loas been, your mother would be in trance and the Loas would come and heal you? That's frequency healing. The world is now just starting to realize what that is. So can you imagine if you had a generation of Ougan and Mambos who understood that this was frequency healing, that it wasn't spooky, that it wasn't demonic, that there was something invisibly there, healing. Well, now they're working on that here. And of course, it's not demonic. There's nothing demonic about it now. But those plants, you see how they grew. It wasn't machinery. Everything was done in perfection. The farmers, they also were connected to the Loas back then. So they understood that this wasn't just food. This was their connection also to the deity, to the Loas, and they knew that was their medicine. It was all connected. That's different than you going to a practitioner in another country and then they say, yeah, we do frequency healing and all of that. The medium is not the same. It's not the same. It won't be the same once it's mass produced. We didn't have any mass produced spirituality. This is what the West always developed, mass produced stuff. And they want to convince people that's the same thing. So I say to those people who are now, I see a lot of them into, the business of plants, Haitians who their grandfathers and their grandmothers were persecuted for being Mambo and Ougan, passed down the knowledge to them. Today, they're happy to be Christians and have businesses of selling, herbs and stuff like that. This is all the knowledge of the science of the Loas. The Loas want Haiti to be prospered, and they want that science to dominate the entire world, coming from Haiti, not the other way around. We are not going to have the Americans to bring our own science to us and tell us this is what it is. We're done with that. The secrets of our science, Americans are going to have to go to a museum to see it. They're going to have to come to conferences, scientific conferences in Haiti to find out the latest technology. That's how it's going to be done. Just like you see they do it, right? They don't give you shit. Okay? You got to go to Silicon Valley if you want to find out what's the latest technology, right? And all these little white boys, from Jeff Bezos to Elon Musk to all of them, they became billionaires right under your eye. In less than 5 years, who had 1 million became billionaires, and 7 billions over. We could have done that in Haiti. That's why we didn't have to sell our science for dirt cheap, for pennies. You see what they do with their science? And it's nowhere near to what we have. Because we could have, by now, we would have cured cancer. If they have it, the cure, they don't have the mindset. When we have a generation of Haitians who can cure cancer, we will cure the world from cancer. They will pay for it though. Each Haitian will be a billionaire many times over, easily. We don't have to do, any corruption. We don't have to poison other people. We don't have to do that. It's not going to be a capitalist system where we have to cut people's throat like mafias. We don't have to do that. We're just going to have enough wealth. We're just going to develop it because we already have it. It just needs to be developed. We need a generation who's not Christian, limited in thinking, unscientific, paranoid. We need to do away with these things. We need fresh minds, young children that we can teach them mathematics, physics, chemistry, biochemistry, biology. Maybe we'll be the first country to have the quantum computer. We could come up with that. We could come up with that. Not if you're reading the Bible, though. That's why they gave you the Bible. While you're reading the Bible, they are looking how to solve the mathematical equation. We have quantum computing, where you no longer have just the binaries of zeros and one, where you can have, like I talked about, the superposition of the particle, where it can be in multiple, infinite number of positions at once. Can you imagine? Instead of just 0 and 1, you can have an infinite number of different numbers of possibility, the probability of that. A computer which can solve a mathematical problem that would have taken a human probably 100 years in 2 seconds. You know what that's going to do to the world? And you know what that's going to do to the world if it's in the wrong hands? You're talking about nuclear power now. Do you know what that will equal if it's in the wrong hands? That's the science we're talking about. We didn't have to sell anything. Our ancestors, the sacrifices that they did, there's no amount of money that's worth their sacrifices.